Welcome to Total Fitheads.
Serious fitness for not so serious people.
Is that how you get a pump?
That's one way.
You just, like in the Uber to a party, do that? He's, for everyone who's just listening, he's pushing his hands together and flexing.
It's like you're doing a resistance curl. It's not as good as the towel trick.
So you're pushing down and up
at the same time.
At the same time. Okay, imagine doing a curl, but the person holding the curl down from going up is also you.
Your greatest foe.
Yeah. My biggest fan, honestly.
The towel.
It's impossible to have too much self-esteem. Oh, right. It's called ego.
Ego.
Yeah.
I told you about the towel trick for the beach.
No, yes.
Yeah.
What is it? No, remind me. Remind them.
If you want to pump on the beach, you take your towel and you sort of squiggle it into essentially a rope. You grab one corner of it as hard as you can. You put your foot right next to you bend down. Your towel's on the ground. And twist it into a rope form.
You're in the parking lot at Venice Beach.
Well, no, you have to be on sand.
Okay.
You grab one side of it and you put your foot on the towel to hold it down. Mm-hmm. And then as you pull it up, you release with your foot a little bit. But it's a ton of resistance because you could stop it completely with your foot.
Yeah.
And so you do a quick curl with your towel. Towel curls, that's what we call it.
Huh.
Another one of those things that my naming system is.
Towel curls. That's like that smart resistance thing where you can really wreck yourself.
Yeah.
Too bad you can't do negatives. Your foot would have to pull it away from you.
I guess you could pull it around your foot with the other hand. Kind of exactly like what I'm doing now.
Yeah. This episode is not about pump, but we're going out after this. Hence, we wore the same uniform.
Black on black.
So he had to get a pump on the way here to look cool.
Right, because the pump usually lasts over an hour.
Well, you're not doing it right. Might last to the next workout. Okay.
So we were talking about health and fitness.
And Brittany's sick. Oh, I feel bad.
Brittany just got back from a 3-week trip through Asia. It looked incredible on Instagram.
Oh my goodness. I accidentally liked it 3 times and then was trying to serve me reels because of it. Epic stuff she's been posting.
I know, it looks so good. She was at all these music festivals all through Asia.
And their costuming is so cool, and they all know the same moves. It's called dancing, that's it.
Choreographed dancing, yeah.
They're doing it all together. It looks awesome.
Yeah.
A sea of people at this festival.
Flames shooting everywhere.
Dancing with the fire.
Smoke sometimes flames. Who knows what's coming out of these cannons?
Right.
T-shirts maybe.
T-shirts maybe. So to look that epic, you have to, not sleep and get super sick.
Right.
This happens with me even. I just had a shoot that took a whole lot of my mental and physical bandwidth, and then afterwards you sleep forever and probably feel like crap. But during, it turns out really nice.
During, it's awesome. But she came home and she slept for 20 of the first 24 hours that she was home.
Wow.
So yeah, in the concert, that means she's also going to bed really late, getting up really early, running around to the job sites and the hotel and blah blah blah. So and then
in heels the whole time. And
then she came back. It was a third 24-hour flight or travel day or some horrible situation like that.
What country?
So anyway, first Japan, week in Japan, week in Korea, week in Bali.
Cool.
Which, if you look at Asia, is they're not close.
Yeah.
Not only are they not close to LA, they're not close to each other. So it was a real tough travel.
Ugh, I couldn't handle that.
Yeah.
So thanks, Brittany, for inspiring this episode, because now we're going to talk about how to stay healthy on just 2 flights, there and back. That's all I can handle.
Well, yeah.
Not even going to do a triangle.
Her flight back was 14 hours, I think.
Oh.
I know. And that was she had a connecting flight.
Do you know where in the cabin they put her? Is it just economy?
It's whatever. But I think what she said was the flight back, what really messed her up was it was one of those older planes, and so the cabin pressure was not that good. You know what I mean?
No,
So she
I've
was
never
like,
experienced that.
Oh, and the older planes, like they're sort of rickety. You feel the pressure a lot more. Your sinuses get messed up. Your ears like don't pop, or they pop a ton, or they like keep getting messed. She said she was like getting air sick for the first time ever, or car sick or something. Yeah. So the older planes, if the cabin doesn't pressurize very well, all that altitude pressure is on the human. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're not protected by the metal tube that you're normally in.
Metal tube.
So she said that really messed her up pretty bad. And I was like, yeah, that probably didn't help, but not sleeping for 3 weeks and staying up for 24 hours a lot probably didn't help either. You know, like you were run down to begin with, and then on top of that, I think the plane just, you know, just kicked you over the edge a little bit.
Yeah, yikes.
But anyway, so she's sick, and so then me and Spags are talking about.
Can you sleep on planes?
I can, but is it really sleep if you're sitting up, you know?
Yeah, I used to be like, oh yeah, I just love teleporting, and I'll wake up in somewhere else, and I would stay up the night before for a flight so that I could be unconscious during the flight.
Oh, you do it on purpose?
Yes,
oh
that was my MO for years. Years! And then I got an Aura ring. Oh my god.
And the Aura ring was like, hey Allie, stop killing yourself.
Yeah. I used to be so psyched because people would be like, how was the flight? And I'm like, I don't know. I was unconscious. But now my Aura ring is like, that wasn't real sleep. And then the next day it tells me I feel like garbage. I'm like, you're right, I do. And that's not a good way to kick off whatever travel you're doing.
Or getting back to your home and like trying to go back to work after a vacation, but oops, your body's beat up.
Yeah, I hate that recovery day after traveling.
That's awful.
So I stopped doing that, and I stopped because I used to love red eyes. Now I only fly if I can get a full night's sleep. Yeah. Not even like a 9 a.m. flight, because then I have to get up at 7 and get to the airport. You know, it's like noon is the only time I can take a flight.
So I can sleep on a flight. But again, I don't really feel like it's restful. Yeah. But the other thing I can do is I can go to bed basically whenever I want. So, like, I don't mind those...
You mean like jet lag doesn't mess with you?
No. I mean, like, I don't mind a 8 a.m. flight. Get there at 7, 6:30, leave at 6, 5:30. I don't mind getting up at 5.
Because you went to bed.
Because I'll just go to bed at 8 p.m.
And you would just get knocked out?
Yeah.
You wouldn't lay in bed and look at TikTok because, okay.
No.
That's impressive.
That is the trick. That is one of my main tricks for falling asleep is close your eyes.
Oh. All right. Here's number 1, Fitheads. First.
To fall asleep, you should close your eyes. No, but that's like Brittany stays up and, you know, we both get into bed and then Brittany stays up reading on her Kindle for like 2.5 hours. Yeah. And I'm like, part of it is closing your eyes. You know? Yeah.
And not even having a TV in your bedroom is a smart move.
Yeah. I've never had that. I find that that's very unhealthy. Although now I have
It's a really common thing, though.
I have an iPad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I have, you know, so then I'm just holding my TV.
It's a theater size if it's close enough to your face.
And I can cup it with my hands, so it's like surround sound.
Does an iPad have a speaker on both sides?
No, just the bottom. So I'll like hold it and hold the cup, you know. And then if I cup it hard enough, it'll swing around my hands.
Oh, we should invent that. An attachment that goes around your head.
Which is called, what's his name? Is his name Alex? What is his real name?
What?
Unnecessary Inventions.
Unnecessary Inventions. Oh,
Adam.
No.
Allie. It's also Allie.
It's not an A at all.
It's you.
It's like... It's a male name that has a like little kid version, and he goes by the kid version, like Petey instead of Pete. But it's not.
Actually, maybe he doesn't want. Maybe his name is unnecessary.
Oh, right, yes, Maddie. No, it is in his.
Does he care?
His second account is Maddie.
Wow, you outed him.
His second account with millions of followers.
He's like, I've been working on this brand for years.
If you don't know Unnecessary Inventions, what we're just babbling about, he's a very talented designer, inventor, 3D printer, and he makes silly stuff.
Is he an engineer?
Engineer, yeah.
Did he?
Sure. I don't think he has an engineering degree. He doesn't even have a product design degree. He just taught himself.
Wow.
I know, which is even more impressive. Anyway, his stuff is awesome. Go look it up. So, we're gonna invent a surround sound so you can listen in bed. No, okay. Is this
Or
our
just
actual...
a helmet. Like one of those beer helmets.
Yeah.
Only instead of holding beer, it like holds the iPad around.
Yeah, and
I
then
feel like
connects
he's
it to
already
your
done
ears.
that.
I feel
I
like
bet
it
I feel like he's
had to have
done
been.
that. Not that original. It's fine.
And then you can turn on the front-facing camera to see what's in front of you. If you have to walk around.
And then you can see your hands like
Yeah.
in VR.
Yeah.
Only it's
Your
R,
actual
R.
hands. I actually did this. We got a VR camera and then like a front-facing camera thing. And so this was for a prank video for Shane Faison. I don't know if you're familiar. He does fight tips. He has like millions of subscribers on YouTube for his fighting, Thai boxing, regular boxing, jiu-jitsu, whatever. So I was on his channel doing this prank where it looks like I'm in an Oculus, but I can see digitally. It's a little disorienting, but it's basically real life.
Yeah.
And then he put me in the boardwalk in Venice and told me to pretend like I'm playing a fighting game and just get closer and closer to people kicking and punching.
Yikes.
And I'm thinking that I can't see what's going on.
How'd it go?
It was great. It was,
It was great.
was as
I punched an old lady in the boob. It was amazing.
Specifically in the boob.
Shaboom! Boom! These graphics are so realistic.
Okay, so our actual first tip, I think, is get enough sleep.
So then we were talking about like, I think it's when we travel, how to not get sick, or it's just how to not get sick in general, or both.
Yeah.
There's a lot of overlap.
I
but-
think not to get sick in general because we have done a travel, health, and fitness episode already.
Yeah.
And
Jet
we-
lag. I feel like we did a jet lag.
Yeah.
So, all right, how to not get sick in general tips. Number one, get a lot of
enough
sleep.
sleep.
Although that's not just health; that's everything.
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's also how to lose weight and
How
how
to
to
not
have
be
a better mood.
How to not be depressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
How to like remember stuff. How to like learn skills.
Love.
How to learn a language. How to like love your partner. How to like.
Oh,
So
yeah.
insane.
So I recently learned...
How to love your mom. Speaking of a shout out, Allie's mom.
Yes, we did it!
Right on schedule.
Ah, perfect. Hi, Mom. Get enough sleep. So I recently learned that the most important thing, which I thought the most important thing to get with sleep health and what do they call it? Hygiene. Sleep hygiene was to get enough sleep.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually going to bed and waking up at the same time.
That's the most important.
That's like the number one thing. If you can forget all else. And I don't think you've gotten there. I don't mean to give you a spoiler for why we sleep because it's in that book.
Yeah.
And he is not there yet. Right.
Well, he does. I think he mentioned it, but he does a lot of things where he's like, "Here's a little tidbit," and I'll get back to that in chapter 9 or whatever. So I think he mentioned that it was
And at
super
the
important.
end-
He didn't say it was the most important though.
Well, he does at the end. He goes through like, I just told you a ton of stuff about sleep and caffeine and blah, 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 blah. And if all else fails, go to sleep at the same time, get up at the same time. That's the most important thing. And I was
Wow.
like, oh no.
No.
Because that's the thing that I was not the one thing I wasn't doing. I'm wearing the dumb glasses. I'm getting 9 hours in bed. I mean, everything about sleep hygiene I've done except going to sleep at the same time.
You hate to see it, and I just said that about flights.
Right.
So that was like my secret move, but now
Is to go to
it's
sleep
like now that's actually secret weakness.
Well, so a part of it I think is that that's how you get deeper sleep, the more restorative sleep, is your body gets used to that versus what time is it and it stays in light sleep. It like knows 9 p.m. is when deep sleep is going to happen, and so you end up getting more of it the more consistent you stay. And also, it's easier for you to fall asleep, you know, whatever.
I buy it. Do you wear a sleep mask, or do you wake up with the light?
A face shirt. That's my move. Here's a great tip that I've never talked about. The term is face shirt. Preferably on the darker side, like a navy or a black. A black is ideal. And preferably with no giant Gym Molly iron-on that makes it all hard.
Yeah, that's.
You want one without a logo.
Do it inside out.
Inside out still in it.
That's not great.
So, you put that on your face as a face shirt, and you don't get the little gap underneath the eyes.
It's true.
I searched far and wide for the best sleep mask. which I found according to Tim Ferriss, which let's see if I can, I don't need to go grab it. I think it's in my bedroom, but it wraps around your head and it straps in the back with Velcro, and it's like a wide strap the entire time, so it goes over your ears, so it kind of blocks out stuff, and you don't have that ear pulling down with the mask, and supposedly it covers below. No, it's a piece of crap. It does not. And then your hair gets caught in the Velcro, and there is no best sleep mask. It's face shirt.
Do you twirl it?
Yeah, well, just like a bunch, and then you kind of caress it around your nose so that complete all light block out.
Yeah. That's exactly what I used to do. I just made that up.
You just made a face shirt? We're both inventors.
I would take a t-shirt and I would take one corner of the sleeve and the opposite corner of the bottom. And then so you sort of hold it and then I'd whip it around in a circle like that.
You have a technique.
Yeah. And then because then at the end the other sleeve points down as like a triangle. Or like the rest of the fabric sort of comes together in like a little bit of a triangle at the bottom. And so then I tie it around the back of my head, and so it's like a big, thick strap like that.
You even tie it!
And then
I just droop it on my face.
Oh, you gotta tie it around.
Okay.
Well, I sleep on my side.
Yeah, okay.
And so then all the fabric that's sticking down, you can sort of fold it under itself next to your nose.
Caress it around.
Yeah.
Wow, I mean, I like your technique.
My roommate in college had a sensory seasonal affective disorder.
Yes, sad.
Combating a light that would combat seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
So it was like when he turned it on, it was like I was on the sun. And then I would go to bed at a normal time, like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m., and he would just play computer games. Civilization. Shout out Dave. And he would just be clicking around, and I, so I had to figure out a way to mask that level of light.
Yeah.
Because you're right, the sleep masks, they don't really work. And
No.
I never had them tight enough that I would get the cheek things, but I've seen people, and like that's a silly thing to get the cheek folds or whatever.
Don't you have one that's your eyes?
I have a pair of glasses that has eyes on it. That's amazing. Although the only bad thing is I lost the men's there's a man and a woman's pair. And the men's version is fine, it looks like me, but the women's version has blue eyeshadow.
Oh, cool, because women needed that to be convincing.
Well, it's like it's one of those, like you send away in the back of a comic book in 1989 level of quality product. So I think at that time they were looking at like Peggy Bundy or whatever, you know what I mean? So I have those. I put them on for Zoom calls once in a while to see if anybody notices. No one's ever noticed. No, that was my shirt technique.
Okay.
And I found that there was a big difference in the twirl. If you twirl it, and then it turns into like a thick rope.
The problem is I can't twirl. I wear half shirts.
Right. I'll give you a shirt. You can just take one of mine.
So this is also great for napping, specifically on that couch or anywhere like midday. You just take your shirt off, and now you have a face shirt.
That's true.
And you have a nice and cool napping temperature.
It's good to nap. It's good to sleep in a colder temperature.
Sleep cold.
I forget where it was, but I heard that the best sleep temperature is like 68, 69.
65.
65?
That's
it's like
what it says in...
mid-60s.
Which
is cold.
That's taking into account that you have blankets and pajamas, right? Not turn your 8 sleep to 65 degrees next to your skin. That's
what I was wondering.
No!
Because then when Brittany was gone, I was like, I can finally do that thing where I'll just crank the AC way down, and I'll crank my 8 sleep way down, and I was like...
Then you woke up in deep space.
yeah, exactly. I met the aliens. They're cool guys. And they were like, what are you doing here?
It's Jeff from Rise Science.
Good old Jeff. But I cranked it down to 70, and that was even really cold.
Yeah.
So I wonder if that's like...
And he does say in the book, it's relative to your size and your needs, but about there is a good starting point for how cold you really should be sleeping.
It's crazy.
But 8 sleep changes all of that, because it's
on
pulling you
that's smart.
Underneath.
Are you going to get the Pod 3?
Maybe. I want it.
We'll see. Sleep police.
Sleep police. Do you wear earplugs? That's another thing. You're talking about your roommate clicking.
I wouldn't wear earplugs. He would wear headphones. You know, to be polite to me.
Yeah.
And he would, but it would be so bright. And you know what the worst part of that is? So
Why was he doing it while you were sleeping?
he just liked to stay up late. So he would sleep in really late and stay up really late.
With his sun on.
Well, in the mornings. What do you mean?
Oh, okay. I thought you were blocking out his sun lamp.
I was.
Late at night.
Yeah, so he would stay up. It was his desk lamp. So it was his only source of light.
So it wasn't like I thought to combat seasonal affective disorder you would sit in front of a sun lamp for 10 minutes a day or something, but he just had it on. It was just his...
I think that was what he described, but in reality what he had was just an incredibly bright desk lamp. Mm-hmm. And his excuse was, "Oh, I'm not from New England. I need like more light. So dark here so early." And I was like, I don't know. That's whatever, dude. It was freshman year, so I didn't want to be like, "You're a liar."
Or weird.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you get.
And you know, it didn't. But the worst part was, at one point, like later on in the semester or whatever, we're with a group of people, and he's like, "Yeah, well, at least I don't wear like a sleep mask when I sleep." And I was like, "What?" I didn't. Until I met you, my guy. Like,
and you're over here trying to be respectful of his disorder.
Yeah, you know. I don't know if he actually even had seasonal affective.
Yeah.
You know, who knows? I think it was just like, I need this because of this, and me, stupid me, just being like, yeah, okay, yeah, sure, I'll figure it out, you know. But yeah, so he made fun of me for wearing a sleep mask.
Dave.
And I'm like, "Hey, Dave, I only do that because of you, my guy." It was unbelievable. No, I don't wear earplugs.
I do.
We have pretty good curtains, like blackout curtains. But even still, sometimes if you don't like close them right, or you really have to like.
Yeah, blackout curtains still have an edge to them.
So I do wear this. I do like the sleep mask. Although I was wondering about that because I don't know if. Like waking up with a slowly brightening world how important is that?
That does sound really magic.
Yeah,
but that means that you had to go to bed with a slowly dimming world.
I do that. Yeah,
but not with the sun.
I have light bulbs that take 30 minutes to turn off.
Oh my god!
It's like an app.
Oh
They're
my god!
Smart. Oh no, you need something new.
That's so cool! No, you have a digital sunset.
So that helps me, and I honestly, and this is one of those. I mean, I feel like a lot of things we do on this podcast or talk about, or the fitness stuff we talked about, is like, the first time I hear it, I'm like, all right, pal, whatever. And then I try it, I'm like, well, that was terrific.
Terrific.
And this is one.
Can't wait for your drive fast. Terrific.
Love it. This is for sure one of those things where you can program it to. Turn on at a certain time, turn off at a certain time. They're Bluetooth or whatever.
This is Sylvania. Shout out Sylvania. Yeah.
So you program them to turn off over a time period. Or, for example, at midnight, they start to dim, and by 12:30, they're off. And so also it's a nice reminder because at midnight, it goes from like 100% to 80% or whatever.
And so
that's a big jump. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, whoa, I guess it's time to go to bed. And then over the 30 minutes.
The sun's setting, I'm going to have to put the cows away. Oh, that's so cool.
It works like way better than I thought. And I feel myself sleepy by 12:20 or whatever. 20 minutes into the 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Maybe that's because it's my circadian rhythm, and maybe it's because whatever, but You
sound like someone that doesn't need help getting to sleep. You just were like, I can go to bed whenever.
Right. So when I notice myself getting tired, I'm like, oh wow, that's fun. This will be a lot easier than normal. And normal is like 10 minutes anyway.
My ring tells me I go to sleep too fast. You can go to sleep too fast. 3-minute latency is what they call it. And that it should be 15. 15 is the goal.
Really?
Mine's 3. So
3.
I'm pretty much unconscious before my head hits the pillow. And then my ring is like, you went to bed too fast.
Your ring's like, you are dead. And you're like, I don't feel...
Oh no!
I don't feel dead. Am I a ghost?
And WebMD. May already be dead.
You are buried alive.
Okay, so I do earplugs on planes, even if I'm not sleeping.
Yeah. You don't do headphones ever. Do you do
Well,
headphones?
I just got a set of headphones. Shout out my mom, so she could hear me better.
2 times
on the
shout
bike.
out.
That's twice. Does that mean we don't have to do her in the next one?
No. She's just racking them out.
We should have a mom tally.
Mom count. We're on 4 right now.
Visual. So I have ones that are now noise canceling. Did Brittany end up getting those?
She loves them.
Yeah.
She was the fact that you had them, I think, was a good. I was trying to talk her into it.
I was gonna say she could just take them for the trip, but I was like, you should just have some.
We got them the night before.
Yeah.
She was leaving, because that was a huge game changer for me too. Was noise canceling on a plane specifically, because I would always have those little earbuds and it was great. I was like, I don't want a big clunky. I just want to like tuck something in
And
my
it
pocket.
is a lot to pack.
It's a lot. It's a big thing,
And you
especially
gotta
with
keep
the
them charged.
case. You got to keep them charged. But the noise canceling specifically, once you turn it on, you don't realize how loud that like, the airplane is, and then you turn it, and it's just gone, and you're like, whoa, wow, how did I do planes before?
Right.
And you know what else is weird about noise canceling headphones? On the earth, when I'm wearing them, they make me seasick. They make me nauseous.
Interesting. When you're just at a gym wearing them or something?
I would sit at my desk and have them like connected to my computer or whatever, and maybe I'd be listening to something, maybe not, but I'd have them on.
But not having that sound was disorienting.
So what I looked into was, and this sort of plays into hangovers also, the reason when you're hungover that you put your hand on a table or whatever is that it's more sensory information for your body to keep to know what your balance is. So the reason you get the spins when you lie down is you're drunk and your blood is thinner and the fluid in your inner ear is thinner, and so your inner ear doesn't provide your brain with enough information for your brain to figure out
And so it just
up
goes
and down,
nuts
so
out.
your brain starts spinning out, and that's why you puke. So that's why you put your hand on a table or your foot on the ground. Actually, your foot on the ground is what people used to say, and that's the old wives' tale to make you not get the spins. In reality, your hand is more sensitive than your foot, so you want to put your hand
Lips.
on the table.
You got even more in the lips.
Just kiss the ground. So anyway, your ear is responsible for a whole lot of your balance. And so when I realized that when I was wearing my headphones, my ear was not able to provide my brain with balance information.
Whoa.
So the way you keep your balance isn't just eyes or your feet or hands or walking around or gravity or ear. It's everything. It's a conglomerate. It's a bunch of information bundled together that your brain then puts together and is like, okay, cool.
This way's down.
Yeah, this way's down.
Huh.
So when you take away one part of it, then your brain starts to spin out a little bit.
Are you okay in planes though with noise canceling?
I think because I'm just it's already like
and there's already a lot of, you still hear noise. Interesting. So I noticed, cause I remember as a kid doing flips in the pool, front flips, and just like, that was just fun. I did it recently at High Mat and got super ill. Like,
Really?
I did one and I came up and I was like pukey.
Whoa.
Like the worst hangover. And then obviously it faded and I was like, well, I better do a whole lot more of that. And so now I have a flipping routine because I'm pretty sure my inner ear just isn't used to that anymore. And because even going upside down, I'll do like hang and do core.
Yeah, or
abs.
even handstands.
Right. Handstands doesn't bother me. It's the hanging my head that really does it for some reason. But I've found that going forward flipping, because back flips I've been doing, forward flipping is so much more disorienting. And I've also heard
weird.
It's possible that you have crystallization of that inner ear fluid, and that the more you do that type of movement, the more it'll break up and you'll be better at handling it. I mean, I used to spin like crazy, stop and finish my figure skating routine.
Sure,
but it's still all that movement.
Plane of spinning is horizontal.
Yeah, that's
right,
true.
You're talking about a vertical plane, right?
So I just want all 360 movement of.
I just want to get up in a jet and just.
I know for sure I would get sick in any one of those impressive, or even like a smaller prop plane I've been in and got sick. Not like. I mean, it just feels awful.
It feels terrible.
Yeah.
It's the worst feeling in the world.
So I have like a plan.
But that's
to get
funny
rid of
that
it, but I
you-
don't even know if it's gonna work.
That's funny that you like are trying to,
Combat it.
yeah, like lean into it.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think a lot of these things, my knee jerk is like, oh, I better not do that. I don't want to like really
Right.
mess myself.
It's like, oh, you have vertigo. You better just not ever blah and don't go drive and don't
Yeah.
mess around with. Always have one foot on the ground or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm like, no, I need to be upside down in the pool over and over again until I don't throw up in the pool.
I'm like, you're essentially like in a cocktail shaker.
Yeah.
That's like that's your dream.
I want to be an olive.
You want to be the ice in the cocktail shaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. I wonder what other stuff,
We don't even know that we could be improving at.
or that we used to be able to do that now, like hanging upside down by my knees on a
Yeah. It was.
not a trapeze, but you know the swing set
Yeah,
they have
yeah.
like the. So I used to just hang
Monkey
upside down on
bars.
my knee. No, who cares? That was it.
And now that makes me want to throw up, but I keep
Yeah.
doing it.
Weird.
Yeah. So, do you take any sort of preventative drug things? I'm talking.
Sort of, but not really.
You know, the C thing.
Vitamin C.
Yeah.
Emergency.
Emergency, vitamin C. There are other ones?
Third one. They're all essentially the same. So
I'm going to go first. No, I don't. I've never.
I don't know if I believe in that stuff. I don't think it hurts. And if it makes me chug a full glass of water, I feel like that. And, you know, especially after talking to routine and they're like, some of the stuff can be too much for you and it can actually hurt you. I don't know. I believe them. I know they're, but also like, if this is, I think that's on a daily basis thing. If you take this pill, this vitamin that you're not supposed to take every day for a year, yeah, I'm sure that'll be bad for you.
Sure.
But if my body's gonna be messed up anyway because I'm in a plane or I'm, you know, altitude or travel time or sleep time or whatever, I don't mind taking those. You know, like the little
Emergency? Emergent tea.
I like emergent tea a lot.
Emergent tea, if you don't remember, is
It's emergency, but you just use boiling hot water, and so you make tea out of it.
invented by Ham Sandwich Max. Oh, you gotta try it hot.
Have you tried it hot?
No.
Okay,
I've
well
never
then,
tried
how do you
it.
know?
It's fine, you're right. You know, hot Gatorade. I have tried hot twisted tea.
You know what I was looking at the other day? Don't microwave your whiskey. Apparently it's incredibly flammable, and people like explode their microwaves.
Who is microwaving whiskey?
Yeah.
What the? People explode their microwaves. What on earth? So we had to move.
So I was looking at hot toddy recipes
Okay.
or Irish coffee recipes or something like that. I
You
don't know.
made it first and then microwaved it?
So what I used to do is I used to really like Irish coffees, but I don't need the Baileys and I don't like cream or
Or the
milk
coffee,
in my coffee
you just
anyway.
need a hot whiskey.
So what I would like is a hot coffee with whiskey in it. But if you make hot coffee and then you pour in some room temperature whiskey or cold, God forbid, cold whiskey, suddenly you have a tepid, lukewarm, you know, like whiskey coffee concoction, and it is terrible. So the trick was you heat up the whiskey. My trick was I would heat up the whiskey in the microwave, and then it would like really heat up really quickly and like kind of pop a couple times, and I'm like, that's weird. I hope that's whatever. And then I was reading last night that like it's incredibly flammable, and there's all these videos of people like their microwave just explodes and engulfed in flames and stuff like that.
What?
Yeah,
Oh my.
so that was a real doozy. So
Oops.
yeah, don't microwave any alcohol at all. It sounds like is bad, but apparently
Specifically whiskey.
bourbons and whiskeys are.
Oh,
I guess we could
101?
ask tonight.
Or higher proof too.
I
The higher
would,
the
I
proof,
would never
the
do
worse
a higher,
it is.
Yeah,
What? Let's microwave 151
in a field, sure.
in a field to see a microwave explode in a patch of wheat. That would go viral.
Yeah, that scared me a lot. So anyway, emergent tea. I love emergent tea. That's the long and short of it.
I mean, I guess there is something to be said about making you drink water and the placebo effect.
Yeah.
Love saying this. The placebo effect is the most effective effect in all of pharmacology.
I thought you were going to say an all of affectation.
All of effectiveness.
I believe it. I totally believe it. And I think that's why I like those little powder things, because I'm like, oh, there's all this good stuff in here that my body's going to need tomorrow.
Just soak it up.
You know?
Yeah.
I do think there is something to be said that, like if you're super dehydrated, like there is a reason they give babies Pedialyte and not just water. There is stuff in there, salt and some sugars and stuff. Like you do lose a lot more of that if like you're throwing up, you have diarrhea or whatever. Like you're losing a lot of other stuff other than water if you're dehydrated. And so a lot of these things travel, and if you're sick, I guess my long and short is, if I'm sick or I think I'm gonna get sick, I make sure to get ultra hydrated. And hydrated doesn't, in my mind, doesn't just mean water. It means water and salt essentially.
Yeah. Yes. Because the more water you drink, the more it flushes the salts out, and so you do need.
So you need all that other stuff.
But I would say avoid Gatorade.
Yeah, avoid
full calorie Gatorade. Avoid all at all costs.
Sports drinks or just look at the label, see how much sugar's in there. You know, there's sports drinks that don't have that much. There's
sugar. Gatorade that is sugar free, but it's still.
G2 is pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard that it's super acidic.
Yeah, I used to just cut it with water, or half water, half Gatorade.
You can also just do Himalayan sea salt in water, and a little lemon.
Lemon, salt, water. That's when you just down, and then you're like, done, boom.
That's definitely a TikTok thing. Lemon, salt, and water, and you can just conquer the world.
No, but why is it Himalayan sea salt and not?
I don't know.
Iodinized,
it's like iodine.
The one with that girl in the raincoat.
I don't know, because you do need iodine. It's an essential thing for your body, and that's why they started putting it in salt, so humans could get it. And then we stopped having iodized salt for some reason. And now
iodinized?
Iodized?
Idolized?
Iodine.
American iodinized. American iodine. So yeah, I guess my first tip would be hydrate with salt.
Even if you're, and it sounds like you do when you start feeling sick, but even before you start feeling sick, just stay hydrated. This is about stopping sickness too. So.
Yeah. Sleep and hydration.
Sleep,
probably
hydration.
The two big ones.
Okay. You gonna get the flu vaccine?
Oh yeah.
You are. Did you get it last year?
I will get it every opportunity I have. I don't know if I remembered last year.
I got it with.
Oh no!
At the same time.
You must have been beat up.
I mean, whatever.
How's your arm?
Your arm's gonna be sore. Just do it. But that was the first time I'd gotten it in a long time. It was almost like all of this vaccine talk. I was like, wow, it really is important. I shouldn't just skip it because of whatever.
Yeah.
And so I did do it.
Well, it's also sometimes it's annoying because you're like, am I paying for this? Do I have to go to my doctor? Can I just go to the pharmacy?
Pharmacy did.
And then sometimes I'll just be in a CVS and they're like, oh, do you want a flu shot?
It feels like a scam.
And I'm like, wait,
what?
Do
you work here?
No thanks. I'm trying to be healthy. I'll just take the Twizzlers, please.
Yeah, but I'm pro it now for sure after all of that. And I used to be like, well, I'm young and healthy, but it's not just about you, right? And
I don't think it hurts, and I think you should just sort of get it every year. That's what my mama always says.
So I'll be doing it this year, as soon as the weather turns.
Right. It's getting cold.
It's not. Okay, yeah, that's what we talked about before we started, too, that most of the world, no, U.S. at least, is getting chillier now.
Mm-hmm.
It's not here. I will be biking outside.
It's 1,000 degrees.
In the cold. What are your thoughts on preventing sickness by wearing a jacket, staying nice and bundled up?
I would waver quite a bit. I remember in Boston it would get really cold and I wanted to look cool still, and so I would wear like a cool jacket that maybe wasn't super warm. And then there were winters where I was like, I don't care. I am,
ladies, you will love me.
Ski mask, ski hat, earmuffs. You know what I mean? I do not care. And I eventually settled somewhere in between where I had like a puffy jacket that was incredibly warm, but it wasn't like humongously huge.
Sure.
But also, I remember my sister went to University of Vermont in Burlington, Vermont, which is the north. It's like almost Canada.
Mm.
And so it is cold. And
Ugh.
so we're there, we're moving her in the fall, and it's really beautiful, and blah, blah, blah. And then all of her friends and everybody else, incoming freshmen, blah, blah, blah. The one thing they told everybody, they were like, so, welcome to school, welcome to campus, get a jacket, get a jacket. Get a real jacket, get a jacket. And then our cousin, who had also gone to the same school a couple years ago earlier, she was like, yeah, and make sure the jacket goes past your knees, like a real jacket. And I'm like, what? I haven't even been wearing real jackets?
Jeez.
It's a jacket off.
Is it in my bathroom? That's how close the fire is. Is that a fire? You know they all have different sounds.
Were you microwaving whiskey? So I do believe in jackets. I do believe in staying warm. I think if you're at all cold, and I also remember in college, girls wearing like pencil skirts and heels in snow and
ice.
Just being like, guys, this is not worth it. Please, you can take the jacket off later. You know what I mean? Like just please bundle up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I used to think, it made sense, right? Your mom would say take a sweater because you'll get run down because you're trying to warm up your body, but all this cold exposure stuff, it's not like...
Well, but that cold exposure is not
I guess
winter
it's like
cold.
It's
very
timed
cold for
and very specific, and then you cut it back. So
for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
You're not out
so
for a couple
prolonged
hours.
coldness could potentially get you sicker.
One thing that if you want to talk about anti-health,
yes,
bad health, if you want to lose a couple of lbs overnight, make it really cold, and then just go to sleep and don't have any blankets. And if you shiver all night, you really pull the pounds right off.
Honestly, yeah. You can do it throughout the day too if you have your apartment at 65 and you're just heating your body. That's also why they say that Michael Phelps and swimmers at that elite level are able to eat so much is because they're in the pool and they have to keep heating their bodies, and so
a lot of calories.
Thermogenesis really burns a lot, surprisingly.
Yeah. But I would wear... Yeah, I sort of turned into big jacket. And then when I grew my beard, that was awesome because I had like a built-in scarf, essentially.
That's so crazy. It really did keep you warm.
It really did keep
it cuts the
face
wind.
and neck. My neck especially was so... Because like you wear a jacket and then the wind would like shoot up under the like your small of your back, or it would shoot down your collar, or if it wasn't cuffed, it would shoot like up your arms.
Right.
And then that wind is brutal, and so you get cuffed, or you get a knee-length jacket, or you wear a scarf. But then, oops, I had a built-in scarf.
Built-in scarf.
That was awesome.
I will say a scarf can go a long way. You could wear a half-shirt tank, but with a scarf, suddenly you're impermeable to the elements.
And you look like an entrepreneur, for sure. You look like you invented an app, or,
You haven't tried Scarful?
It's like Netflix, but for scarves.
I'm renting this one for 2 hours. Ugh, my next one's on the way.
Next
one! Wow.
We're just printing apps.
The ad writes itself.
I would say if you're cold, put something on.
Okay. Here's my number one way in the winter, especially, to not get sick. Not be around people. You can't catch a person's illness if you aren't seeing anyone. Just don't leave your dorm whenever it's freezing cold out.
The opposite of cuffing
season. See no one.
Hibernation season.
Yeah. I do remember walking through Pittsburgh, and you would always find a way to get to your destination while going through buildings that were unnecessary, but
warm.
Maybe it added half a mile, but you were at least indoors for it.
Yeah, that was so bad.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. What are your thoughts on still distancing? Are we done with that?
I think what was nice is, if nothing else, the pandemic has taught us about the idea of germ spreading. You know, I feel like I remember in bars people would just sneeze a lot, and like you wouldn't even
sneezing, no more.
Or they wouldn't cover their mouth. Yeah. They just sort of could cough to the side, but they wouldn't cover like the vampire cough cover or whatever, or, you know, they sort of cough into their hand.
Wait,
not really.
the vampire cough? What?
The vampire cough cover.
like your cape? That's what? Did you name that?
No, that's a real thing, I think.
Okay. I've never
They
heard
say
that.
they say that's a better way to cover your sneezes with your whole arm than just like your hand. Right?
Sure.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. I'm sticking with that one.
I've just
that
never
one's
heard
real.
it called that. Just a
Now
little. Are you Draculating to be nice to the
Are you
society?
Draculating? Are you Draculating?
One sneeze. Okay.
I got a question for you.
Yes.
Is the Count a vampire?
Count Dracula.
No.
Oh, he's the Count.
From Sesame Street.
He's got fangs. And of whatever accent that is.
Transylvania?
Yes. You think he's not? He's got purple skin, so what do we say that race is?
Ooh, good call. Thanos?
Yeah.
Race.
The best friend in Doug. No, he was blue.
Oh, yeah.
Is there anybody purple in The Simpsons?
No, they're all yellow, aren't they? Or brown? I don't remember. No, there's no...
Carl's brown.
No, but I remember seeing somewhere there was a big debate over whether the Count was a vampire or not. I think it was Funny or Die.
So what? He's just normal purple dude with weird teeth?
I think they were like, we don't really want to teach kids about vampires necessarily.
The mythical thing that's very terrifying, yes.
Well, it's, you know, blood sucking.
Oh. I mean, he didn't do it on camera. Look, I'm not judging what the Count
That's
does
what
in
OnlyFans
his
is for.
personal life. Okay? He can make the choices he wants.
Only Count. Only counts. Anyway, yeah. So it's called the vampire sneeze cover because you cover your sneeze with
With your cape.
elbow pit. Yeah, but like a kid.
Oh, that's great.
But no, anyway. But I think that the pandemic has taught people. And you know what else is? I've seen the video that went around a lot during the pandemic was there's an old guy in a diner and he was sitting there, and the sun. He's in front of a window, so the sun's sort of coming in. So as the camera's looking at a guy's sitting at a diner, his profile, and then behind him is a window, and the sun is coming in.
Perfectly backlit with a beam.
And so then he sneezed, and you just see all these.
Was it?
Particles.
I thought he was even just talking and you saw it.
He was talking, and then there's definitely a sneeze because it went everywhere, and you're just like, oh, God, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those visuals, you know, it's like a straw in a turtle's nose. Suddenly you're like anti-straw, you know, they just stick with you. And I remember that one going around. And so I think, if anything, I think people are a little bit more aware of
hand washing,
sneezing, germ spreading, human to human.
Polite, yeah. There was one that stuck with me from TikTok where this guy was in a place that's super cold climate, so cold that his breath was reacting with the air around immediately, and so there was just little droplets, right? But he would speak and it'd just be clouds, right? And so you could see his breath, just clouds in front of his face. And then he put on a mask, and then you saw his breath, just clouds in front of his face. And then he put on a respirator, and you saw his breath, still streaking clouds around his face. Yeah, but it was crazy to have that much of a visual change to know where it was around him.
Once you see that, then you can sort of visualize it in regular life. I think that goes a long way.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think staying away from people is an excellent way to not get people sick.
No.
Or not get sick from people.
And wasn't it that the flu during the pandemic didn't go anywhere because it was harder to get than...
It was like the lowest impact flu season of all time.
Because we're all masking up and it was more protection than we needed for the flu, but not enough protection for the coronavirus.
Right.
Whatever. Interesting.
Another one that you sort of mentioned offhand, but I think is very important and worth mentioning again, is washing your hands a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think you wash your hands every time. You know what I mean?
Every time you use the restroom?
Every time you use the restroom,
Yes.
every time you use like a public, you know what I mean?
When I come in from a walk, I wash my hands.
You know, it's a good habit to get into. And so it's not just like...
or is it? I've heard of parents not bathing their kids for the first couple of years because they want to keep their hollow biome intact.
Yeah, well, those kids stink. I'll tell you that much. That is a stinky kid.
Stinky kid.
I'm good on that.
Yeah, I'm honestly antibacterial hand lotion and soap. I want just regular soap because that also wipes out the coronavirus. It just doesn't also wipe out all the other stuff that could be beneficial.
Yeah, I was reading about that. Like, antibacterial really just is a great name, and it's actually too harsh on your skin a lot of the time.
It's not necessary to destroy coronavirus for sure.
And it's bad for your skin. I mean, if you use it all the time, it rips off too much of the sort of good stuff on your skin. There's stuff that you need. The only caveat to that I will say is I used antibacterial skin every time during wrestling season because there were a lot of skin to skin body.
Or like a porta potty that has that, you know.
Sometimes you do want to.
Certainly there are times where it's like,
you want to just nuclear bomb wash your hands. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Honestly, just crack open a antibacterial. What are the pills that you take to destroy viruses? No.
Oh, birth control.
Ooh, yikes.
Plan B. Plan A.
Mm-hmm. Plan B for your hands.
I would use antibacterial because we had there was like ringworm and staph and all this gross skin infection stuff that you could get from other skin.
Right.
And that's from sweaty skin to skin contact. So, you know, a wrestling tournament is really terrible. And you know, we do the math, but there's so many people it just gets really gross. And so yeah, I would scrub my antibacterial. Dawn? Is that the one? Dove?
Dawn?
I can't remember. It was an orange one, and it smelled like nuclear waste or something. You know what I mean? Or it smelled like a hospital.
Yeah. Okay.
Like that astringent, like what?
Yeah, like there was probably puke here before because they really went after it.
Yeah, so that's what I smelled like for a season of the year every year. It was great. It was really good.
Yeah, we do talk about the microbiome a lot. You know, it's like your stomach is your second brain, and it's super important. But that connects to stuff going on in your mouth. Shout out bristle, and the stuff that's on your skin and outside, and that's what I mentioned earlier, your hollow biome. Yeah. So it's all of that is important, not just what's in your gut.
Yeah. But, you know, take it into account. So I think, once in a while, and full antibacterial, destroy everything. But for the most part...
I try to avoid it and just actual wash my hands, yeah.
Regular soap is regular soap. So, get sleep, get hydrated, wash your hands, stay away from people.
I mean, work out.
Work out.
Do you work out when you're sick?
I don't like to, but yeah, I do. But also mainly because, for sweating. I really think sweating helps a lot.
Sauna when you're sick. You're going to go give it to everyone at the gym.
Well, I have my own sauna.
Of course.
Or I
built it
just
in a barrel.
I throw in, My sauna is how many sweatshirts I'm wearing. I throw on a couple of sweatshirts. I really think sweating for me helps a lot in a lot of ways. And I mean, first, you know, the proof is right there with hangovers. You know, talk about getting crap, toxin, junk out of your body. Sweating helps me do that, and so... Yeah. And I think it's nice because then if I'm working really hard, if I'm really, really hot, my nose starts to get runny, I can just blow my nose a million times and get all that gunk out of there, and that helps me a lot too. Do you do real workouts? So I don't do real workouts. I do get sweaty workouts.
I would say don't even work out when you're sick, and I'm obviously feel it out and see what your body can handle, but I'm already one that I probably got sick because I pushed it too hard working out. But staying consistent in your workouts, that's going to keep you healthier and less sick. I say in general, that's...
So more preventative than...
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you really are run down, you're not going to get any stronger. I mean, my workouts are always focused on, can I move this number up on my deadlift? And that's not going to happen when I'm sick.
Bingo.
And I don't think it's going to help me recover from my sickness any better either. And this is me saying don't work out when you're sick, and I probably still will.
But that's good to know that if you're gonna do a workout, just go in knowing like this isn't gonna improve. I'm not gonna improve.
Stay moving.
Maybe it's a maintenance, but really it's a get moving, get your body going a little bit. I wouldn't have high expectations for this workout.
Yeah, it might help you kick something, but if you're really bad, then listen to your body and stay in bed.
And also, if you're really sick, you're probably gonna be sleeping like 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day anyway. So, if given the choice, don't drag yourself out of bed to hit the workout. Go to sleep.
The vaccine was a weird one because that knocked me out, but you know that you're not actually sick. It's like this weird fake sick that you for sure will be over in 24 hours-ish.
That's exactly how I felt.
And so I kind of tried to push through it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But also I couldn't. It was bad. It knocked me out. Christine was fine. I was like, well, your stupid immune system isn't good because mine's going nuts.
Yeah.
But really, it's like she had a normal day and was very productive, and I
feel like
could not get up from horizontal.
Me and Brittany had that same thing happen, flip-flops, like with the vaccine and then the booster. I forget which one it was, but one of them knocked me out, and one of them I was totally fine, and for her it was the opposite.
Oh, interesting.
Or it was the same, but opposite things,
Yeah, so it isn't just you react a certain way and that's what happens. They were different.
Yeah.
I think there's a third booster out now, right?
I think there is.
Shout out my mom who already got it.
3 times.
Oh.
3 time shout outs. It's a momcast.
Momcast. Yeah, I only have the one booster. So 3 shots total, 1 booster. I don't know. Can we get the second? I didn't know that it was open up to superhuman specimens of
D's. Diesel.
Oh, diesel. I was like, they're probably A's on a good day.
Okay. D's people really deserve recognition. I don't know. I guess I'll get around to it.
I imagine they're gonna be boosters just like every year there's a new flu shot.
Yeah, that's
right. So we get the Omicron and then we get the, I don't know, all the way to Zeta and then we start back at Alpha again.
Umbrella Con.
Shout out to my mom teaching me the Greek alphabet. Do you want to hear the whole thing before?
Yep.
What is it? 3 times before the match burns to your fingers.
You have to. That's how you do it.
That's. Correct me if I'm wrong on the next phone call, Mom. That is the hazing that she had to go through for her sorority. That's why she knows the full Greek alphabet and then taught me.
That is quite the nerd hazing.
That's cool because it's like an impressive thing. Our hazing was you have to learn the first 100 digits of pi. No.
Our hazing was you have to prove the theory of relativity.
What? Einstein's already done it, so it's not even like this.
Our hazing was here's a bunch of proofs. Go for it. Theoretical mathematics, like advanced mathematics.
But yeah, so you belay a match and then say the Greek alphabet 3 times before it burns your fingers.
Yikes. So
yeah.
You can do it.
Oh no, I just know the Greek alphabet. I'm pretty sure my mom can do that though.
3 times?
3 times. That's why I said correct me if I'm wrong.
I don't even know if I can do the regular alphabet.
Van ha ha. B.
A, right, yeah. 1. No, wait, sorry. A. There was a while where I knew the, I forget what it's called. It's the military one, Alpha, Bravo.
Yeah, I always wanted to know that. Because you're on the phone and you're like, my email address is like Alpha.
Really, it is very helpful.
Yeah, because you say dumb ones, then you sound really dumb.
I know. S as in essence. Wait a minute.
D as in dog. What was that, log? If you pick the wrong one, it's not helpful at all. Because they don't understand the... Like, they were picked to be very understandable.
I feel like I know it. Do I know it? Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, Echo,
Woo!
Foxtrot, Golf, Hotel, India, Hij, Juliet, K is Kilo, Lima, I don't know why I'm counting.
You get to 26.
M is Mike, N is, I don't remember, N, Nevada maybe, or... O, Oscar, I don't know, P.
A lot of dudes' names.
Yeah, Romeo's in there somewhere.
Whoa.
Somewhere. Under R, probably.
Probably.
S is Romeo, Sierra, Tango.
Wow.
U is umbrella, Victor, whiskey, X. I think his X is either X-ray, Y.
Xylophone.
Yeah, that's what everybody does.
X is in xylophone, which sounds like a Z.
I know.
Stupid.
Y is yo-yo and Z is xylophone, right? I think it's zebra.
That's impressive. That's cool.
It's incredible. Really, literally, the only reason I learned it was because I was on the phone so much, being like, the code is BH5. You know what I mean?
Yeah. B is
But it
in
is
Bravo.
really helpful.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that helpful. It's just nice to know one's B is in boy. You know, like it's
What
nice to
toy
have
is it?
one.
T? Did you say T? That's why it doesn't work, because over the phone T and B sound the same. So you're trying to make one stand out, and so you say B is in boy. They're still hearing T is in toy.
B is in Travo. Wait a minute.
What?
T is in Bravo.
Yeah. I also wanted to learn. For a while, I was working on the dots and lines. What's that called?
Morse code.
Morse code.
Just in case.
Well, I wrote a song where... Oh no, I'm gonna get shoved in a locker for this. The song's called Robots for Everyone, and the rhythm in the bridge spells out the word robot in Morse code.
Oh my god, that is so cool.
Yes! Oh!
Let's go robots.
Crazy change of events. Thought I was gonna get made fun
What's
of.
cooler than robots? Literally nothing.
I know.
Not vampires, that's for sure.
They're changing the count to a cyborg because it's less controversial.
He's just called Count, not the Count. And he
Count
goes.
bot.
He does.
One,
Binary.
0,
1. Wait a minute.
It would be 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Anyway.
Nerd. Nerd.
So, yeah, I was trying to learn Morse code for a while.
It's stupid,
I mean,
though.
S.
You know, it takes you an afternoon. And it took me an afternoon at my desk job that I wasn't, like, working super hard at one afternoon.
Yeah.
And then I just did it. And then suddenly it was, like, incredibly useful. And I don't regret it.
There's also one that I was trying to learn. I don't know the name of it, but each number 1 through 10 is tied to an object. So, like, 3 is a tree. 4 is a door, right? So you just know what these objects
4
are.
is
really.
a store.
Okay. 4 is a very nice lady.
5
How dare
for
you
guys,
say that
6
about my
for
mom?
chicks, 7 is heaven, 8 is, I don't remember, 9 bust a rhyme.
I do love that one. Okay, 4, whatever. So that you can use them to then remember a sequence of 10 things, because the third thing is skeleton, and you see a skeleton next to a tree. The fourth thing is watch, and you put a watch
On the skeleton
on
next
the
to
door.
the tree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
There's other ones like that. Apparently, like, there's memory Olympics. Did you know that?
Mhm.
And they make a house.
Yes. You know, I memorized 500 digits of pi, and I used a memory Olympics mnemonic thing.
Was that
to
what you
do it.
used? The house? The
No. So
What is that called? What am I
this-
thinking of? Memory person.
mnemonic device? I don't know.
And it's called like a memory palace.
Oh, where you have a home and
You
everything.
have a gigantic. If you have to remember, like, so the way they do these memory Olympics is they just give you a list of 50 things or whatever, and it is like that. It's like dog, skeleton. I mean, this room would work
Yeah.
really well, actually.
Yeah, right. So
But
you
they-
have this palace in your brain
And then you put a thing in the room.
in each spot in the room.
Right.
And the reason this works is because human brain is closer to a squirrel than you would think, and squirrels hide their nuts in places, and that's how their brain is programmed to remember space. And that's the way we are too. We're way better at a location and visually imagining something being somewhere where we left it versus a list or written paper or whatever it is. And so it ties into what's already our lizard squirrel brain, as I call it,
Yeah.
and helps you remember. But
All right. Well, speaking of memory, we went way off the rails.
oh
here.
yeah, super off the rails. Anything else that you do to stay not sick?
So what do we say? Sleep, hydrate, wash your hands, stay away from people,
Work out. Maybe take a placebo.
Placebo, that's a good idea. We didn't really talk about anything you eat. I don't really eat anything specific. I don't do like chicken. I like chicken soup a lot. Shout out chicken soup. But I'm not like
Andy
I
Warhol.
need this saltines or ginger ale or anything like that.
I mean, while you're sick.
I mean, I eat a banana when I'm hungover. I feel like it settles my stomach.
Yeah.
I know there's foods that settle my stomach, but I don't know. I think hydrate covers it. Stay hydrated, stay hydrated.
Oh yeah, the salt water.
But I don't eat anything. If you're really sick, go to the hospital. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Don't just try to like tough it out.
I think that covered it.
Yeah, I think that's
basically listen to everything that we've imparted on this podcast.
Yeah.
Not this one specifically, like all 150 some episodes. What are we on now? 130.
35. 7.
And if you follow everything that we gave you, except for the idiots, the occasional idiot guest that we have.
That's the sixth thing on the list is listen to every single episode of this podcast.
And that will keep you healthy. That's what I was getting at. You're not going to get sick.
In order.
Yeah.
And then in backwards order.
Yes.
And then odd numbers. And then even.
And then listen to it backwards because there's a secret message in Morse code.
In more. Okay, we're good.
I know what that was. It's dirty. I'm not going to say it. All right. If you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts, that helps us out a whole lot. And we'll see you next week.